goes right through. Puts on the step again. Oh, goes Freddie. That was magnificent stuff.
Welcome back to another edition of the Advantage Line. I'm joined today once again by Carl Toley.
I'm back. Made it through
Made it through quarantine.
my rookie round, and I'm back.
Feeling good?
Feeling great this week. Very, very excited about my tips when we get to them, and some plenty of talking points on the run sheet to get through today.
Beautiful.
Exciting stuff.
And once again, we're joined by NRL stalwart, former Tiger, former Warrior. In fact, it'd be easy to name all the clubs he didn't play for. Blake Ashford.
Oh, I love that intro. Gets better every week. Favorite part of the show. See what we come up with every week, Paul. Thanks for having me, lads.
Well, I'll tell you what we can come up with is we almost lost last weekend's round. Queensland pulled the plug, and then I'm guessing PVL did a wee bit of used his negotiation skills, and got the rest of the round, albeit slightly delayed, got through it okay. So what's up with the Queensland government? I mean, all of the NRL have been in quarantine anyway, haven't they? So they're in their own bubbles. Why would they have just pulled the rug from under the NRL's feet?
I don't know. I find it strange, and I heard someone say that they might have, lost the right to the grand final this week because of the way that it sort of turned out. I find it weird, and the thing I find weird watching the game is that they run out with a mask on. They spit, sweat, bleed all over each other for 40 minutes. Then I found out, I didn't know this till after the weekend, they put the mask on at halftime.
Yeah, run back up the tunnel.
Run back out, do another 40 minutes, shake hands, so where you transmit stuff from another player if you haven't already, and then put the mask on after. Well, that's doing something. So, I mean, PVL should just run for Prime Minister. I think, the way he's handled everything and kept the game going, I think he's just abiding by all the rules he has to at the moment.
He saved the set. Well, he saved the round, and he's probably saved the season as well again.
Yeah, is he the most stubborn man in the world?
Or
He just refuses to
or the greatest negotiator on the planet.
Like you say, they are the only sporting competition in the world, essentially, that have played right through this pandemic.
Mm.
And it's all because of the great PVL.
Or you talk about his other sport that he took over, racing in Sydney.
Racing, New South Wales, yes.
Mate, the insurance policy and things that he put in place for if anything did happen, and they continued to go. And now, they're one of the bright spots in Australia as in the racing goes, and they're starting to take over Melbourne. So hopefully the same happens with rugby league, the great PVL.
So I guess you did mention it, that Queensland may have, maybe not, maybe the grand final, maybe not. But one person who has made a wee bit of a bid for the grand final is Matt Tripp, owner of the Melbourne Storm. How likely is it that we might see the NRL grand final at the MCG?
I reckon it's quite possible. We can.
They've been the worst city in Australia in terms of COVID and handling this pandemic.
But if Matt Tripp goes to the NRL and says, "Here's a check, I'm buying the grand final off you boys, and I'll take care of everything else."
Well, the thing is, I know the AFL players all flew from Brisbane to Melbourne on Saturday, so they could play their full round game in Melbourne. I'm not sure if they had fans or not, but I know that's one of his promising factors, is that he said that he'll fill the MCG if they have the grand final there. So, I mean...
Where are you going with this?
Where do you want me to go? No,
Wow.
No. Give it to us.
Well, I mean, if all of the teams and their support crews and coaching staff and all that could get over here and through, I mean, I think the Wallabies were given some sort of dispensation to play the All Blacks this weekend.
Yep.
If the NRL could get some sort of dispensation, they could play the rest of the season over here in front of full crowds, right through the playoffs, right through the grand final at Eden Park.
Oh, it'd be glorious, wouldn't it? I mean, if you're going to let the Wallabies in, surely you'd let the NRL in.
Yeah, 100%. I saw Vossi on SENZ, it's just SEN, his show in Australia. He was talking about it and saying, if you gave the grand final to Eden Park and put tickets on sale on Monday, that they'll be sold out within a couple of hours.
All done.
And I don't disagree. Like we haven't had a game here for more than 2 years. Surely, just to repay what the Warriors have done for the game.
Yeah, and I don't want to harp on because I know it's not going to come. Like we can say, bring it over here, bring it over here. They won't do it. But can you imagine, so they've tried to take the games to Mackay and Rockhampton and things like that. Can you imagine coming down here over here, and then taking it all around the country? And you talk about rugby league trying to get it a global game, and you want New Zealand to come up. You've sent Phil Gould come over to the Warriors, all this sort of stuff to try and get the game. There's nothing better than getting 16 NRL teams to New Zealand, travel the country that's COVID-free, and get the fans in and get them a great spectacle.
Just think about the Nines the first couple of years when they're at Eden Park. Like, man, what a weekend.
They got
can't remember a lot, but man, what a weekend.
They did. They Lonergan and the crew, they put on a good show.
Oh, yeah.
They put on a good show, and it was a great weekend. It was. So we can certainly logistically, we can handle it. But as you say, Blake, it's not coming over here.
It's not. We can win.
It's going to Rocky before it goes to Wainui. There they come.
Wainui's too cold for these guys at the moment.
How about we look at a bit of stuff on the field? And the first thing, the depleted Warriors bounce back on the weekend.
Woohoo!
I've always said when I don't think they're going to win, back them. And when I do think they're a sure thing, get on the other side. And I didn't pay any attention to my my laws when it comes to the Warriors. And I thought there's no way they beat the Tigers. The Tigers will get up for this. There's still a realistic chance of making the 8. The Warriors, they're
a mathematical chance of making
a mathematical chance, but they're down on numbers. And what happens? They went down early too. Yeah. And then it looked like another. The Warriors are going to let this one slide again. But Blake, what happened there?
I'll tell you what it does, doesn't it? This is, and I never knew this until I obviously stopped playing for the Warriors and realized the actual heartache and heartbreak that all you guys go through. So this has given us hope, hasn't it? There is still a chance. I've looked at the run home. I came on here last week. I said I looked at the Tigers run home. The Tigers run home was easy. I think the Tigers could make the 8. Now the Warriors, Tigers, same points. I think they're 4 outside the 8.
They are.
6 or 4.
4 outside.
Yeah, 4 outside with a good run home. I mean, now they're going to be outsiders for the rest of the way home, according to the tab, I would believe, because of the team that they have. But this week's team's better than last week's team. You've got Lodge and Adam back.
Fanua Blake, yep.
Yeah, I mean, Chanel Harris-Tavita's back. $3 is a good price, isn't it, this week?
He's going to fall into that trap again.
I'm coming with you, brother. I'm coming with you.
Oh, boy.
It was a great win, wasn't it? It was one just to finally get one, to hold on to one. And, my side, I was sort of, the heart was broken, but I was sort of happy as well.
I guess you've sort of got a foot in both camps when it comes to Warriors-Tigers games.
Yeah, I was down the pub carrying on at each try, because I'm allowed to. So there was a lot of banter going on down there. I was going for the Tigers 1 minute, then I was off for the Warriors when they scored. So good to walk out of there for a win.
What's the pub? Is the pub in Papamoor?
Yeah, it is in Papamoor, mate. It is.
What's it called?
The Mullet.
The Mullet.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, the way that game started, I was very close to turning it off after 20 minutes. I'm a diehard Warriors fan. I watch them every week. But after the run we've sort of been on, and that first 20 minutes, I'm not having any of this. I stuck it out. And I'm grateful.
Luckily,
and
you
I'm
did.
grateful I did, but
Yeah.
I was close. It was almost like an addict falling off the bandwagon.
So good things happened to the Warriors. What happened to the Tigers? What's going on there, Blake?
It's. I think it's still. I mean, probably our man on the ground, Fisky's probably the best one to know what's going on. I think that
he would have all the oil.
He would. He'd have the good oil. I still think it's still a fallback from Ivan Cleary's days there. To be honest, I mean, I know
a
a
long
lot of
hangover.
Yeah, but you got to think Russell Packer's still on contract there until the end of this year. I think they're still paying Josh Reynolds. I think they're still paying a couple of others. I mean, and this isn't just all throwing it there. I just think that they don't have the personnel. There's some bright lights there, like Luciano Leilua, Adam Dewey. I think they're players to build around.
Dane Laurie, very unlucky to lose him in the first
early
couple
on.
of minutes.
Oh, yeah.
He's gone for the season.
Yeah, that really hurts my fantasy team too.
I hope Dane Laurie has a quick recovery as well.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Didn't look very nice. He got absolutely mauled.
No, I don't know how any bone didn't come through the skin. I'm happy it didn't. It looked awful. Maybe that might have been on beer number 13, but it didn't look too good.
Gee, the mullet did a roaring trade.
It was only 30 seconds into the game.
So from one fullback to another, Tommy Turbo. He is the best player in the game right now.
Yep, he is. I mean, Tedesco means a lot to the Roosters. Latrell means a lot to Souths. We can say that about a player in each team, but he's the drastic change from when he's in the team to when he's not. And they still have origin players and some great young players. But when he's in the team, it's unbelievable. And I think he's a shoo-in for Dally M. You agree?
Yep. I'm just looking at the leaderboard now. As at, I'm guessing this must have been the end of round 12 when they
stop it,
when they go behind closed doors. It used to be round 16, didn't it?
Yeah, it did used to be.
Anyway, Cleary was at top with 21. He's would have had to have been caught by now. RTS was second. He's gone. James Fisher Harris gone.
Tommy
Turbo next on 15. So six back of Cleary. He's got to be ahead of him now.
He'd be ahead by links and bounds, mate. It'd be ridiculous if you don't get it.
Latrell coming in hot behind him.
How many games did he miss at the beginning of the season? Was it 5 or 6?
Yeah, I think it was. Because I had when I seen the teams at the start of the year, I was like, I actually like their team because I like Foran and Cherry Evans in the halves. I had them in the 4. And then by round 5, by round 3, I'd sort of written them off and said, nah, throw them away. Like I'd already gone back on what I'd thought. And then for him to come in and do that, I don't think there is someone better in the game at the moment, mate.
He is on fire. Everything he touches turns to gold.
What was it? 36 minutes he played? Was it more than that?
Yeah, they gave him an early shower.
Yeah.
And he'd scored 3 tries in the space of
3 try assists,
10, 15 minutes, 3 try assists, ran for a bazillion meters. It just, the difference he makes to that team, and you're right, there is a player pretty much in every NRL team who just changes the whole sort of dynamic of that team. But they're light years ahead when he's on the field.
Well, what do you think about the game this week?
The Battle of Brookie. Even though it's not at Brookie, I know. I hear that some of the Manly players have been bringing it up.
Oh, really?
Hell yes.
Well, it wouldn't have been the Trebojevic brothers because they're too nice.
Marty Tapel?
Yeah.
I think they're a red hot chance this week.
Really?
Yep. You may see them feature a little bit later when we get to some betting. Sorry, where you go?
No. I was just going to say. I mean, I think they're in with a shot, but I mean, is this the best team we've ever seen in Melbourne? Could could this be the best team that we've like or is it just the way the league is now that there's only so many good teams? Like you know what I mean? Like these guys will probably break the record for most wins consecutive.
Well, they're at 16 at the moment.
Yeah,
and I don't know about you guys, but I've got them winning out.
Yep,
coming home. So
who, the Seagulls?
No, the Storm.
No, Storm.
Except for this week.
No, well, when I say red hot chance of keeping within the 12.5 point start.
Because I think there have been a number of times this season when we've looked at the Storm and thought, it'd be vulnerable this week.
Yeah.
Then they put 46 points on the Roosters. Who are the other big boys that they played? The
Stouts, 50
on the Bunnies.
Yeah.
These are all teams who are in the top. In the top 4 or just outside the top 4.
They've scored 40 points or more 11 times this season. That's insane.
And we think back to the Panthers game that they lost by 2 or 4, whatever, that Olam got held up in like round 2. Yeah, but they had, I don't know how many people remember, they had about 3 or 4 players out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then on the weekend, Penrith had 3 or 4 players out.
Yeah.
And the Storm put a big number on them. I just think that I think when you boys mentioned it last week, how good they are when you take Smith and Cronk and Slater and you can still win a comp or still look like winning a comp this year, obviously first year without Smith. But I think they're got to be up there with one of the best teams to ever play if they go right through and win it.
Just quickly going back to the Turbo chat saying how he's every team's got the key cog in their wheel, right? And then Turbo's that for Manly. Who is that for Melbourne? And who is that for the Warriors now that RTS is gone?
Reece Walsh is probably going to be the one that steps up into RTS's shoes. With the Storm, it's a wee bit different. They've got a number of leaders or players with that sort of X factor who are able to turn it on and make the rest of the team that much better.
Yes.
So,
for me, and it's probably a bit out of the box, but I'm going to go Jerome Hughes. I mean, I know a lot said about Munster and like Pappenhausen's on the bench, not even starting at the moment. But Jerome Hughes,
he would have been the obvious
at
one.
the start of the year, Pappenhausen,
but he hasn't been around. And they're still putting teams to the sword.
I'm going to shake it up even more and say the Cheese.
Yeah.
He has been outstanding.
Yeah, well, Harry Grant, who is obviously the heir apparent to Smith.
Can't get a start.
Well, he's been affected by injury, but they've lost nothing when Smith has been, Brandon has been in the hooker jersey.
And what do you do? Do you, our great rugby league minds that we are on this podcast, do we keep Brandon Smith there, or would you put him at lock and play Harry Grant for 80? Or there's so many things. When do you put Pappenhausen back in? Do you keep Nico Hines?
Now that Finucane is going next year, does that open up the 13 for Smith?
I think so.
I wouldn't mind seeing him in the 13.
It's the same. He's doing the same thing he's doing now, right? He's just being a pest in and around the ruck, making 1,000 tackles and scoring tries.
I think if Grant's fully fit, then you put him in the 9 jersey and you play him the 80 minutes.
Yep.
And then you're able to carry another forward or balance out the bench how you want.
Smith can play the 80 easy as well from the 13.
He can. So they can stack the bench with some big boys if they want to. If they've got those two both on for 80 minutes.
Is that the master stroke from Bellamy? Kicking Finucane to the curb so he keeps Smith.
I always, every time a player's released or leaves the Storm, I think, is there something wrong with that guy? I'm sure Dale's been a great player for the Storm, but every time someone leaves, I'm thinking, what have the other teams missed here? Is there something not quite right there?
Yeah, Warriors know all about that.
Hoffman was great.
Yeah, Hoffman was great.
Yeah, he was
I never played for the Storm, so I don't.
Yeah.
We learned that last week. You didn't want to.
Oh yeah, that's right.
A few players coming back this week. Mitchell Moses, a big in for the Eels, who have struggled the last few weeks without him. Their attackers looked lethargic. Gutherson, he's missing. I remember he gave him a bit of a serve, I think. What was it? Maybe 2 months ago on the field. Moses wanted to take a quick tap or something, and Gutherson took over and said, no, let's slow it down. We'll take the point, or something like that. And I remember he was trying to give him he gave him a big serve. But I'll tell you what, that Eels, they need Moses.
They do, don't they? The depleted Roosters got up good on them last week. Unlucky Carl had them 1-12. We know. I didn't see the 28-0 coming either. But this week, I've got this as my game of the round. I think it's going to be a huge game, and it'll have huge bearings on the top four. I think Parramatta do miss Moses, and I think they're a lot better team with him. I don't think Jacob Arthur is ready for first grade yet.
No, he'll probably grow into that that position at that level. He's still a young fella.
Yep. 100%.
They certainly miss Moses's kicking game. He really takes a lot of pressure off that forward pack, being able to pin the opposition down in their own 10 or 20 and then making them work hard to get out in their own half. So it was, I didn't realize how much the Eels relied on Moses until he wasn't there.
Well, what a game to come back. You've got Latrell Mitchell in sort of arguably career best form as well. I mean, we've seen him play at the centres, but, starved for the ball. Now he's at fullback. He's always got his hands on the ball. Mitchell Moses trying to tackle Latrell Mitchell with just healed broken back. Not an ideal way to come back.
For the Bunnies too, Benji Marshall back. Is that
he's out again, isn't he? He's gone again. I'm sure I saw something that said he was gone.
Well,
no, he's been in quarantine for the last 2 weeks.
And he's been named in the 14.
Oh, yeah. So he'll probably only have one training run.
That's Benji Marshall will go into Friday's top four clash with just one training session under his belt.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, that adds another dimension, doesn't it, to the Bunnies? Coming off the bench. I had my game of the round this week.
That game there?
Yep. I think it'll be a close one as well. So whoever you like, I think the 1-12 is great odds there.
Right.
What a couple of big ends for the Warriors too, as we were talking.
Fanua Blake
and
Lodge back.
Harrison
Ewan Aitken, centre, moved into the second row. Now, if anyone could tell us about how centres retire to that second row retirement village, I'm sure it's Blake. Did you ever get put into the second row? You did, didn't you?
Yeah. So I when I first came in the first grade, Sheensy used to chuck me. I used to play 60 in the centres and then 20 in the back row, and then never played again until my last season. I got the tap on the shoulder and said, "You're here for another year. You're probably not as fast as you were." So basically saying I'm slow, which was never the quickest. I think it's time to move in, mate. Probably not front row, but see how you go at second row. And I cracked one game there, so it wasn't too bad. I mean, I didn't score 2 tries and run for 200 meters, but I made some tackles.
Is it much of a difference?
Oh, it's massive difference. Yeah. Like when you're defending out there, that I suppose the defensive reading is a lot harder to make decisions out in the centres, but in back row you're doing twice the work.
The workload.
Yeah, double the hit ups. It is quite hard, and I never played in a game like they're playing in today, so I can only imagine how fast it must be. But I've played against him before, and those guys used to play, and this is nothing against redheaded people, but they usually they're real strong. They're real strong, just like grown man strength when they're young. And Ewan Aiken's got that grown man strength. Just you can see it on his muscles and his size, but he's very, very strong. So to go in the back row, he did a good job. 2 tries, 200 meters, as I watched the game and found that out.
That's I like that. That's a great tip from Blake. Gingers are strong. I like it. I've never thought of it like that. That's great. Yeah, as you say, go Fisky.
Might explain why Patrick downstairs is so fiery and finds himself in a lot of fights in the rugby field.
What should we have a look at the
Top
top 8? And
Yeah.
I guess not really the top 8, because I'm guessing that the top 6 for us, it's pretty much sorted itself out. They've got a wee bit of a break on the rest of the field. And 6th spot at the moment are the Sea Eagles on 26 points. They're 8 points clear of 7th, who are the Titans. So the Storm at 1, Panthers at 2, Rabbitohs at 3, Eels at 4, Roosters at 5, Sea Eagles at 6. I can't see any of them falling outside of the top 6. I can see maybe the Sea Eagles or Roosters jumping over the top of the Eels into 4th. But realistically, can you see anyone else jumping into that top 6?
No.
There's not enough games left.
No, and yeah, I think a lot of those teams will lose games where we think they're going to win, and you know what it's like. I can't see those 6, going. Oh, I can't see anyone. Oh, what is 26? Oh, there it is. 26. Sorry, I just got the ladder. 26, 18 points. Yeah, no chance.
They can't.
Nah.
In fact, mathematically, I don't think they can. How many rounds are left? There's only
5 to go.
5 rounds. That's 10, maximum 10 points. Well,
You've got to assume one of those, the Seagulls will win 1.
The Seagulls win 1 or none, and any one of those other teams on 18 will win out.
And the difference is already
highly unlikely
coming into play.
No. Okay. So what we're looking for is who's going to fill 7 and 8. And at the moment, we've got the Titans in 7th on 18 points. Sharks on 18 as well. Raiders on 18 points. Dragons on 18 points. And the Newcastle Knights on 18 points. And they're just separated by their points for and against. So
you forgot to mention the Warriors, who are a mathematical chance of making the 8, Paul.
I'm going to stop at the Knights on 18 points. To be fair, the Warriors, they could win out, especially with the run-in that they've got. But they're just too Jekyll and Hyde for mine.
I do not have them winning out in my list.
So where do you look, you boys? Where to fill in the number 7 and number 8 seed?
Jeez.
I've gone Knights jumping up into 7th and Titans holding on to 8th. I think looking at the strength of the draw coming home, I've got the Knights winning 4 of their 5 to climb up to 26 points, and the Titans to win 3, which will get them to 24. Sharkies, Raiders, 2 wins, Dragons, 1 win for mine.
Blake, you are thinking along the same lines, or you've got someone else in there?
I mean, that 8th position, 7th, I'm with you. I think Knights win out. I had them last week because I thought Mitchell Pearce was playing, and I sort of got lucky there, the way they played. I think Mitchell Pearce back this week, him and Ponga, their spine have played 1 game together where they won by 40 points. So, I mean, the way I reckon their draws set out, I think they're going to come home strong, and I think they'll win out. So they'll go to 28 points. And 8th position. I don't want to say it. I'm gonna throw it there. I'm gonna have the Tigers in 8th position.
Whoa!
Wowee!
The Tigers.
Yep.
On 14 points. We didn't even mention them, Paul.
I didn't mention the Warriors either.
I know.
Yep. I see them possibly losing 1 game to Penrith, and that's depending on whether Penrith choose to rest players or not. Being the back end of the season, they might have some injuries. I reckon they win the rest of their games.
They do have a very, very easy run-in outside of that Panthers game. They got the Dogs twice.
Yeah. I just think I'm looking at the other games, and I know the Titans and all these other teams play Like the Titans have got the Rabbits. Who else they got on their run home? I can't quite see it at the moment.
They've got the Bunnies and another top 4 team as well. The Titans. They've got some tough ones.
Bunnies and Storm. And then they've got Cowboys, Knights, Warriors.
And I think the Raiders and other teams have the sort of the same run. They've got 1 or 2 hard games. So I don't know. It's a roughie. It's a rough chance. It's sort of showing you that I don't have any idea who's going to be 8th, and I've chucked my Tigers in there.
A lot of these teams on the 18 or 14 points will play each other and will in turn knock each other out of the running.
The Warriors don't play a team in the top 6.
No, the Warriors
for the rest of the season.
The Warriors and Knights have got the easiest run home. The Knights get to play the Broncos twice.
Yep.
And the Dogs.
And does home and away really matter when you're playing at Rocky or you're playing at Mackay or you're playing at Seabus? I guess if you're playing at Seabus against the Titans, it might matter. But does it really matter now, the home and away advantage?
Well, wait, all of them are, I'm pretty sure, are at Suncorp.
Suncorp.
Yeah. So that's the thing that the great PVL has gone with and agreed to. I think that majority of the games are on at Suncorp, or all the games. Sorry.
So no, there is no home and away.
No. So really? short answer, no.
so surely, tell me, the Warriors are a chance, aren't they? You've got to fight for your boys.
I've got them here winning 3 of their last 5,
and they need to win all 5.
They need to win all 5 to get to 24 points, which would just sneak in. Possibly, they've got a pretty bad. They're negative 129 points difference.
That should improve quite a bit if they win out 5 from 5.
They might get to minus 50 odd. But yeah, I think they might sort of. I've got them this week. Bulldogs, Broncos, and then the last 2, Raiders, Titans, are question marks for me.
You're actually looking at the for and against. Your Titans are pretty spot on. Minus 24. I mean, the closest is the Sharks at minus 58, and then you go back to minus 82. So that's probably the way to go there. The safe option, I'd say. Titans.
I didn't pick any safeties. This was mathematically. Who have you got, Paul?
Well, I've got the Knights in at 7th.
Yep.
Okay. Yep, that's who I've got. It. The Knights at 7th.
What about the other end? We've got the top 6 are who they are now, but what about the order?
Storm.
Yep.
Panthers.
Yep.
Bunnies. Sea Eagles. Roosters, Eels.
I'm very similar. I've got Roosters in the 4th, Manly 5, Power 6.
Yeah.
Blake?
I've gone. I'll have the Storm. I'll have the Bunnies.
Oh.
Panthers. What's that difference? Yeah. Bunnies. Panthers. I got Manly coming into top 4. Yeah. Got them 4th. Then I'm going to have Roosters, Eels, and then what we've said, Knights, and then I'll have the Tigers to round it out. Boys, just in, Rugby World Cup, League World Cup has been pushed back to 2022.
2022.
Oh.
Here we go.
So sort of looks like Australia and New Zealand got their way. And, as you do, when the big guns pull out, you set another date.
You adjust.
Yep.
That's a shame.
Well, you would have liked to have seen.
Oh, yeah. I would have
New Zealand,
liked to see it go ahead.
New Zealand Maori go instead, or
I didn't even think of that, but the Maori or the
Indigenous All-Stars,
Indigenous All-Stars, even just a absolute shake-up of international rugby, and everyone in the Kiwis in Australia who want to play pledge their allegiance elsewhere, and we see for
a 1 year, one tournament sort of. This is a free pass.
Yeah. See the semi-finals of Tonga, Fiji, Samoa, and then England. How
To
good
be-
would that be?
To be fair, with International Rugby League, there's a lot of free passes that have been handed around over the years.
How many countries were you eligible for, Blake?
Me, none. Otherwise, I would have played.
Right. Let's have a look at last week and how we went with our tips. Our bet of the round last week, Carl, you had the Titans minus 12.5 at $1.90.
Oh, yeah.
Easy money.
Thanks, Fisky.
Where are we? Blake, the Bunnies minus 24.5 at $1.90. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, baby. Easy.
And I had the Cowboys head-to-head at $2.07.
Wow.
Wow. For our multi-anchor, I'm not sure you've got the hang of this multi-anchor just yet, Carl. You had under 54.5 points in the Dragons-Rabbitohs game. The Rabbitohs almost went over the 54.5 by themselves.
Look, if they had kept the Dragons scoreless, we might have been okay. They could tackle.
Blake, a little unlucky. You had the Panthers plus, was it 24.5
Yes.
at $1.42.
Mm.
And in the end, they lost by 27. You weren't that far away, but yeah, that was unfortunate.
There's a stinger.
And then I took the Storm head-to-head at $1.13. I think I got home okay there. See, that's what a multi-anchor is.
Yeah.
The sure thing of the day.
Yeah,
All right?
we know.
Okay. What else? We had some roughies. Carl, you had the Roosters by 1-12 at 375.
Sick.
That's got to hurt.
That's sickening.
That has got to hurt.
It wasn't even close, but it was halfway there.
Oh, Blake.
Oh, we've lost him.
Oh, no, he's back
I'm
again.
back.
Yeah.
What's happened there?
Oh, your internet just went whoosh.
Oh, mate.
Look,
Papa Moore, living in the
they keep
sticks.
downloading cartoons. Look out, big guy. I was just saying that you had the Roosters head-to-head for your roughie at 235, and they came home and never looked like losing.
Never. Great price.
And I had the Cowboys 13 and over at 450. Boy, could not have been further from the truth.
And you're giving us stick.
For our totals, Carl had over 53.5 in the Tigers-Warriors game. They wouldn't have gone over that even if they went to extra time to Golden Point.
They could still be playing and it won't be overs.
Blake under 49.5 in the Roosters-Eels game.
Yep.
Well, easy money.
Oh, yeah.
Easy money. Yeah. I thought it'd be,
Wow. Yeah, not even close. And I had over 54.5 in the Dragons-Rabbitohs game. And
Well done.
and for our try-time game, who'd you have, Carl?
Tupanua from the Roosters.
Great try.
375, I think.
Oh, no, here it at 340.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
We've got to make up for those losses
I
somewhere.
just wanted to see if you were honest. But anyway, Crichton, unfortunately, no one did anything unfortunately for Mr. Crichton. And Joey Manu, who got dotted down with about 5 or 6 minutes to go at around the $2 mark. So it wasn't the worst of weeks.
He had an outstanding game, Joey Money.
Oh, whoever picks it,
we pumped up his tires last week.
Wherever he plays next year, look out.
He must have been listening. I think he's writing his own check wherever he goes.
All right. All right. Let's get down to some tips this week. We'll start with you, Carl. Your best bet of the week.
My best bet of the week, touched on it earlier. I am going to the Seagulls versus Melbourne game. I'm going to take the plus 12.5 at $1.90. Pun intended here, the Seagulls are flying.
Whoa.
And as long as Tommy Turbo is on the field, give them a red hot chance against anyone. The 355 head to head is so much value for a team that's going as well as they are. But as you said, Blake, this might be the best team we've ever seen in the NRL era or in rugby league ever. So 12.5, I think, I think Manly can stay within a couple of tries of this Melbourne Storm team.
All righty. Blake.
I've gone Penrith. Pun intended. I think they're going to growl back into form. They growl? The Panthers growl? I don't know.
They do at Panther Stadium.
Yeah. I think halftime, full time at $1.62. I think is the goods this week. I think we spoke about Cleary, number 21 name. That's usually a sign that they're named in that 21. They're going to be playing that week. So I think he comes back against a Roosters team who have lost even more players. Josh Morris, I think, out for the season. So I think Panthers. Api Coruscant back as well after his little holiday, fixing the marriage. So I think that'll be good. Halftime, full time, big bounce back, statement game for the Panthers.
If Cleary starts, and it looks like he's capable of starting, I tend to agree with you there. I think they'll just have too many guns this weekend. I'm looking at another game. I'm going to Thursday night's game, the Newcastle Knights up against the Brisbane Broncos. If there's one other team that I try to avoid, it's the Newcastle Knights. It's sort of similar to the New Zealand Warriors, but I'm jumping back on. I'm getting on the Knights minus 11.5 up against the Broncos. The Knights are starting to get back to full strength again. They've got that top 8 spot within their reach. I think this is where they start on an upward trend. I think the Broncos, although they were good last week, the Cowboys were terrible, and I see the Knights running all over this Broncos side. Tony Stagg's out for the Broncos. He made a huge difference to that team since he's been back, even if he was only playing at centre. He had a massive effect on that team. They've also got a few injuries as well. So Knights getting back to full strength, minus 11.5 at $1.90. Where we go? We'll go with your multi-anchor now.
You've just pumped the Knights up to sound like the greatest team of all time. And they are my anchor multi, head-to-head at $1.30 this week.
129 right now.
Oh, there you go. Already lost money, which tells me that that's a good thing.
Yep. I'm sticking to my Panthers game. I've just gone, but before my best bet was halftime, full time. This one's just Panthers head-to-head at $1.36. I know the Roosters were good last week, but like I said, I expect Nathan Cleary to play. I expect Api Coruscant, or he's named at 9. I think they're a bit embarrassed after losing to the Storm, and this will be a massive ego blasting win from them. And they're going to pump the tires up, ready for the semis. It's going to start here. Panthers $1.36.
Beautiful. I'm looking around for a bit. I was going to go the Rabbitohs, but just with Mitchell back, I just think the Eels might step up slightly. So I'm going to stick with the Thursday night game. And me and Carl are on the same train this time.
Hey.
The Newcastle Knights, $1.29 to beat the Broncos.
Sure you don't want $1.30?
If it changes in between, I'll take the $1.30. You can have the 129. Let's go with a roughie. Carl.
I'm going to the Roosters-Panthers game here, and for all the reasons Blake's just pumped up the Panthers, I'm going to go with the Roosters again at $3.05 head-to-head.
Wow.
They've won 4 in a row. It's a roughie. It's a roughie. They've won 4 in a row, depleted, but they're a top-line team. They will finish, I think, in the top 4. I think the Panthers are missing something with James Fisher-Harris being out. He was and is their leader of the pack. So until he comes back, they're just missing that little something in terms of aggression and go forward. Powerful go forward. Obviously, you get Cleary back. That's huge. But teams playing the Storm this year have lost their next game 62% of the time. Not a huge loss rate there, but it does fall in favour of the Roosters here. So $3.05, bit of value for the Chooks.
Nice. I've gone Ruffy. I'm jumping on the Knights. 13 to 18 at $7. So a little margin there. Yeah, I mean the 19 plus was tempting. I just think the Knights. The Broncos have got a bit left in them. I mean their forward pack's still strong. I think the Knights will win comfortably, hoping that they miss some goals. And 13 to 18 at $7 was too juicy to pass up.
Did the Broncos play really well last week, or were the Cowboys terrible? Because they looked very good at times.
Oh, the Broncos?
Broncos, yeah.
Yeah, it was a wee bit of both, to be fair. But yeah, Tony Staggs is just a huge out for them. Before he came back, they sort of just rumbled through games. There wasn't a lot going on there. The halves, they've still got problems in the halves.
Yeah. Jordan Ricky, man, he is.
Danny Levi, is he back? He's back in the 9 jersey.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, there's just a few too many things. And Kevy Walters is coaching, so I don't hang. I'd rather have the Knights.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'd rather have the Knights. My Ruffy, I'm going to have a look at the Sea Eagles Storm game. We've had a number of high-scoring games lately. This one has the potential to go really, really low. If the boys start to think back to the battle at Brookie, it could be a bit of a punch-up and there'd be a whole lot of defense and not a lot of offense. I just can't see that happening with the likes of Tommy T on one side and Pappenhausen probably coming off the bench on the other side. So I've gone for 61 points or more in the Sea Eagles Storm game. That's paying $3.75 this week.
Nice.
Sunshine and clear all weekend in Brisbane too.
And now for some totals.
Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart.
Yeah.
Totals. I am going back to the Roosters Panthers game. I'm going to take the over 48.5. Both teams can score a try, and I think this will be somewhat of a shootout. First to 100 wins.
Raiders, Dragons.
No, Roosters, Panthers.
Oh, Roosters.
Yep, I've gone our mighty Warriors. I mean, great defensive effort last week. They're not used to backing it up, but I think they're going to back it up this week. Under 54.5 their game versus the Sharks. I mean, Sharks obviously aren't the most potent attacking team now that Shawnee's gone. I'm quite confident it's under 54.5.
I'm sticking with the Thursday night. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket pretty much here. The Newcastle Knights, Brisbane Broncos game. I think Ponga lets loose here. I'm taking the over 50.5. Newcastle Knights, Broncos.
Mate, this is going to be either one of the greatest weekends for you from Friday onwards, or you can have a real bad weekend.
He's going to come back in here with his tail between his legs next week.
Right. No try time game this week, but we do have a double dot down game.
Woo.
And it's on the Thursday night game, the Newcastle Knights, Brisbane Broncos. So a double dot down, what is that, you ask? Double dot down is place an anytime try scorer bet on the Knights Broncos game this Thursday, pre-match. And if your player scores 2 or more tries, we'll double your winnings up to $50 as a bonus bet.
Lovely.
Nice.
The way that these teams have leaked points this season, you'd think there'd be a few tries scored, and there's a few try-scoring maestros on both sides. So where you going, Carl?
I am going to the centres for Newcastle Knights. Bradman Best at $1.83. The Knights have scored 47% of their tries down the left-hand side, whereas the Broncos have leaked 37% of their they've conceded 37% down their right-hand side. So Best is a powerful unit. No
Mhm.
Katoni Stags. I think they'll be playing on the same side. Correct.
Yep. I
If they
think-
were to be playing, yeah. So, yeah, Ponga to best have a field day.
Ponga the best have a field day. I've gone Ponga show the best off the left foot, 2 under the post. Going Kalen Ponga. I think I already spoke about last time Mitchell Pearce and Ponga played together this year. I think only the once they won by 40, even though it was against the Cowboys, and Ponga crossed for a double that day. I think, we saw him play some good footy last week. So I'm thinking Pearcey back there this week, going to free Ponga up out the back, couple of tries.
Very nice.
Beautiful. I think that's it for this week.
Where are you
What
going?
about you,
Oh,
mate?
Bradman Best. I'm going Bradman Best as well. $1.83. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Shane, you are all in on that game. We
Yeah.
have to be for this. Take,
that's right. I mean, my weekend's over. My weekend's over on Thursday night, unless the Knights get up and score plenty of points for Bradman's crosses for 2 or 3.
yeah, good.
Oh,
If that doesn't happen, I'm in dire straits. That is it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, Blake.
Right,
once
thanks for
again,
having me. Thanks for having me
for
again,
hooking-
boys. Good
hooking
luck
in
this week.
again from Papa Moore, and say hi to the guys at the Mullet. And
Yeah,
hope you-
Can't wait to come for a beer at the Mullet.
yeah.
No worries, mate. You two come down, probably be free beers.
I'll be there in an hour, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro. All righty.
All right.
Cal, thanks a lot.
Cheers, Paul.
All righty.
Cheers, Blake.
Don't forget, tune in next week for another edition of The Advantage Line.